Hi everyone, it is Paula from PSENCreations. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back if you are returning. Today's project is going to be me showing the process that I followed to make these journal pages using book pages, as well as collaging using my scraps. And I also used some napkins that I fussy cutted or did, like the water tearing method. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show it. So these are going to be great to put into junk journals or using them for other, other things if you wanted to. But I'm going to show the process that I followed, and hopefully you enjoyed the video and you try it yourself. So the book that I used was actually a Dollar Tree book that I picked up. And I picked it up because I liked this cover. Now, granted, I have not made a journal using a book cover yet. I've gutted a number of books that I've picked up at the Dollar Tree, but I've yet to actually make a journal using them yet. So maybe that will be a future video. But anyways, this book, I gutted it. So it's definitely not an old book, right? Again, I liked the cover, so I bought it for $1 and gutted it and thought, well, sometimes I have thrown out the pages of the book. But this one, for some reason, I thought, oh, let me just keep it, So I kept the pages, and I will tell you how much they measure just to give you an idea. So it is 8 in height, actually 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. So 8 1/4 by 5 1/2, right? So when I was looking at it, I thought to myself, well, if I, join these two together, it will almost be about the size of folding a regular 8 1/2 by 11 piece of paper. So I can use it as a page in my journal. It's just a little bit short. So I was like, awesome. Because I tried to keep most of my journals. Some of them, aren't the length of a folded piece of paper. They might be a little shorter, maybe a little bit bigger. But most of them are. So I thought, oh, that's cool. So now I will say that I think it was months ago, and I cannot remember who it was. I like going onto YouTube and looking at like old videos. And I do that because I'm fairly new to this wonderful craft. And so I go back, and a lot of older videos seem to be more relevant to the stuff that I'm kind of trying to learn or, get ideas from. So anyways, this video I think was a few years old, and I can't even remember the name of the channel, because if I did, I would post it in the description. But anyways, this person called it Franken paper, and I don't know if I know she didn't use book pages. I think she was just using like scrap pieces of paper and kind of joining them together somehow. I can't remember how she was joining them together, and she was making pages that way. But again, so I originally thought of the collage part, right? And then I was like, oh wait, what if I also then go in and had the napkins, and then if I do like a white gesso, then there'll be writing spaces. Now, some pages I made sure that I put them here, so I won't put a napkin here, and then there'll be like a little journaling spot. Or I was also thinking like I can cut paper and then just glue it in some areas and have additional journaling spots. And the great thing about the collage part on the front of it is now I can add things to this, right? I can add flowers or butterflies or whatever it is on top of this. This is just a neutral base layer that you can now add onto it as you choose to add onto it. So let's get started into the actual process that I followed. So I just cut 2 pages out, and I try to cut as close as possible so that I am getting the most, and so that they're as even as possible. And I keep the inner part, so the cut part, together. So all I'm doing is joining them together. And it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously. but I like to line it up to make sure that they're straight because I have a problem with straightness, as in I think it's straight, but it's really not. It's like beyond crooked. And then I have all these scraps here. So, you know, when you cut out pages and, you know, you don't need the whole thing, so you have these strips. That's what I'm using to give me that middle. Now, if I wanted to, I can make it longer, but that doesn't seem to be the problem that I have. It's the shorter, it's the length, and I can't make the page. I mean, I can make the page taller if I want. I mean, longer if I wanted to, but that's anyways. All right, so I'm babbling here. So I'm going to simply, that's my dog. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I'm just simply gluing, and I'm using a decent amount, by the way, because this is going to be the spine. Let's call it the spine of our page, right? So I'm gluing it, and then I'm just going to put it down. And if it overlaps, it's okay, because I'm just going to fold it because the other side's going to get it too. So I just flip the pages over, make sure that my pages are still touching. And then if there's anything, any excess, I just fold it. Again, you can cut it if you want to. I've done that too. I fold it, I cut. And then I use just something to just make sure that I'm getting a good hold there. Now, if you wanted to, I guess you can also sew, you know. Everything I'm doing here is simply gluing. So then I'm going to do the same thing on the inner. Now, do you have to do the inner? No, probably not, but I'm doing it. When I originally started, I wasn't doing the inner, and then I thought, well, if I do the inner, then it gives me that extra hold. And then I realized that when I started doing the napkin idea, or I thought of doing the napkin idea, that it actually looks better if I do that. Now this one I'm just going to cut. I'm not going to fold over because I don't want it to. Okay, so now I'm just going to, and this also helps push off any excess glue that I may have. It helps spread the glue onto my mat, apparently. And then you can decide which side do you want to collage and which side do you want to be the inner. This seems to have a little bit more like clear spots or empty spots of writing. So that might be my inner. So then I just like to, and I just do this again just to train the page, right? Because it's going to be a page. It's going to be one sheet of paper is what we're making here, right? So I just fold it in half, just to train it so that it knows it's being folded. Okay. So on the outside, I'm going to collage it, but I think that for this video, I'm just going to show you everyone the inner part of what I do there, because I think that's the interest. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So I have my Mod Podge. You don't have to use that. You can use a stick of glue. I know a lot of people do that with napkins. I also have this bright white matted finish gesso, acrylic gesso. Again, you don't have to use it. I have some napkins here. I think I'm going to use this one. I like this one over here. And this might not allow for much room to, I think that's good though. Because again, I can do something over here, right? I can put a piece of paper to allow for additional writing. It doesn't have, there doesn't have to be uniformity to it, you know? Have fun with it. I think that's my layout. That's going to be my layout, okay? So that's what I'm going to go with. That's what I'm going to go with. So this is a super simple project. All right, we're going to do this side first. I'm just going to get some Mod Podge. Oh, that's a strong smell there. Oh, Lord. And the reason why I do the gesso afterwards is because I like to get a little bit of the gesso onto the napkin to give it that weathered look. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. And that's going to be cut off right there. I know some people say that they don't like the Mod Podge because it is sticky, but I've never had a problem with it feeling sticky after it's dried. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to stop messing with it because what I end up doing is then ripping the napkin, which is not a problem because you can fix that, you know, but I'm going to stop. Let that dry. Let's do this side over here. And I think this one I said I wanted maybe something like that. I like that idea. Okay. Okay. Now I am going to mute and use the blow dryer or heat gun, whatever you want to call it. Mine's a blow dryer, I'll be honest, to dry this up a little bit so then we can do the gesso. So mute it is, and yeah. Okay, so now they're dry. So let's go ahead and I'm going to cut the excess off. And I will tell you, oh, I just cut the paper. I can feel the difference in my paper as far as the flimsiness of something that doesn't have the collaging on one side. Like this paper here feels so much thicker because I have just that one simple layer of collaged piece of papers than this does right here. This feels very, very flimsy because of not having that piece. So I will most definitely be collaging in the back of this. Plus I think that's, yeah, that's nice. Okay, so now let's do the gesso. So you can see how it looks now, right? So I hope you can see how it looks, right? Now let's do the gesso, and then you'll be able to potentially see how it gives it just that more of a, I guess, aged look. Would it be called aged? I don't know. Aged, rustic. I will. I like having a scrap paper. I'll go ahead and just use this. And this just allows me to, because, you know, you don't want tons on the brush, so. And you just want to try to spread it evenly. I say evenly. I mean, just, you know, make sure that you're able to get everywhere. And if you want to use more of the gesso and cover it completely, go for it. Oh, I used a lot there. Thanks. Oh, sorry if I. Oh, I see I used way too much there. So I'm just going to use my fingers. So can you see how it's starting to already look a little aged? I'm trying to get it to focus. A little bit more aged. So you can stop there. You can keep going if you want. Sometimes I find that if I keep going, I end up doing too much, and then I have a white piece of paper versus having it be a little bit distressed or aged. Okay, and that is it. So I'm gonna mute again, allow this to dry, and then I'll be right back. Okay, guys, that's it. That's the process that I followed to get these pages created. If you are interested in continuing on with the video, I am now going to flip this over and I'm going to collage the other part, which the collaging is just what it sounds like. I'm just going to randomly pick pieces of paper and collage. Okay, guys, so that is the collage. So we collaged it, made sure it folds. Here's our front. Here is our back. Neutral colors, you can definitely layer more on this. And then on the inside is this beautiful area that we have now to, like I said, I can add stuff here where we can, or this can be a pocket, whatever you want it to make it. It would be a beautiful page, or it can just be a focal page, right? Within your journal. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.